Hey everybody, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into Call of Duty's Blackout Battle Royale version, and more specifically, we're going to talk about how to actually finish. As I tune into streams and as I talk to random people here and there, I feel like it's pretty easy to get into the top 20, top 15, right? The map's pretty large. It's usually down to about the top 20 by the second circle or so. But going from that second circle, so going from 15, 20 people left and actually winning the game, there's a lot that goes into that final process. So with that, I'm going to explain to you guys just a few different things here that I focus on as the game narrows down, so that hopefully I can help you win more of your games. Before we actually get into this commentary, there is a little bit of background information that I have to give you guys so that you kind of understand where I'm at and where I'm going. At the very beginning of this map, the plane flew from construction site over Nuketown, so it was on the complete opposite side of the map. I'm actually down here by Turbine just because I was actually going for a crash unlock. I'll have that video for you guys here in a couple of days, but just know that I was down here trying to unlock something, and it just happened that the circle came towards me. So with that little bit of background knowledge, and we see that the next circle is going to be closing in a minute and 20 seconds, let's talk about where I'm at and where I want to be. So if we think back to when the plane dropped, it went from construction to Nuketown, kind of across that top left portion of the map. With that knowledge, I know that the majority of people that are left, there are 13 people left right now, I know that the majority of them are going to be in that top left corner of the circle, right? Because as the majority of people at the very beginning of the map jumped in that top left part of the map, as they start to come into the surrounding circles, that's where they're going to be coming from. That just makes sense. They're going to be coming from the top left portion of the map into the top left portion of the circle that's left. So with that knowledge, I went ahead and made the decision that I'm not going to be in that top left corner. If that's where most of the fighting is going to be going down, I want to be away from it, right? Right now, my goal is just to win. By the way, on screen, I didn't know how far I could actually drive here, so I kind of drove out of the circle a little bit, but I went back in. So anyways, they're going to be in the top left. I decided if I stay in the top left, there's a greater chance that I would get picked from somebody. So because of that, I went to the bottom right. Quick note here, it pays to have a headset. I was actually driving right there on my ATV, and you're probably wondering, why did I stop and go back from where I was driving? I heard that person running as I was driving, so I went ahead, I made it over that little hill, and then I went back and killed that guy as I heard him approaching. So if I'm going to go ahead and number my tips here, the first one that I'm going to give you is to stay ahead of the circle. You know where the previous circle was and you know where it's going. So the last thing you want to do is be in that far section of the map and be running in with everybody else. In that specific scenario, if you're running in and somebody's already set up, it doesn't matter what gun you have. It doesn't matter what gun skills you have. If they're set up on a head glitch and you're running in just out in the plain in the open, then you're probably going to die there. So you want to try to stay ahead of the circle and always plan your movement or your next move in advance. As we go ahead and jump forward just a little bit in the footage here, I want you guys to go ahead and just listen to what's going on around me. And then after that, I'll go ahead and I'll explain my second tip. Alright, so I'm back with you now. In terms of the grand scheme of things, those were super minor details, but in terms of winning the game overall, those are the details we have to gather, as they can be the difference between winning and losing. That ultimately leads me to my second tip, which is to constantly gather enemy information. If we go ahead and we look at the top right hand corner of my screen here, we can see that there are 7 people left. So that means that there are 6 others, right? Because I'm one of those 7. So of those 6 others, we actually know where 3 of them are. One is in this silo, right? About a minute or so ago in this clip, I was shooting that person as he ran into the silo. I know he's still somewhere over there because I've been checking it and I haven't seen him leave there. So there's one person in the silo, and then in that small clip, we heard one person to the right of me and one person directly across the circle from me. So instead of being unaware of where 6 people are, I'm only unsure of 3 people. All right, so I went ahead and I jumped about a minute ahead in this game film, and if you look at the mini map in the top left-hand corner, right underneath it, you can see that there are about 26 seconds left until the next circle starts to close in. So because of that, that means that I have to begin my journey into the next circle. So that brings me to our third tip, which is to advance behind cover. So if you look at the two circles, I could very easily just run straight into the next circle. But as I go in, there was somebody to my right, and I'm not sure, I have no idea where that guy advanced from there. So as I start to move in, I'm going to continuously check to my right. But as I run in, you'll see that I'm kind of moving from cover to cover. I'm not just making a beeline from where I was at to the middle of the next circle. I'm kind of running from rock to rock, so that way at least part of my body is shaded. So again, I know that guy's to my right, so I went from that previous rock to the one I'm at now. I'm still checking to my right, making sure that he didn't run in or he's not, coming up the hill to my right there. So I'm just kind of looking over to my right. I look over to the left, and this is that guy we talked about earlier, right? I was shooting that guy that was going into that silo. That's the guy that's approaching to my left. So I'm pretty sure that there's somebody on both sides of me. If I look in the top right, there are 4 other people left. So I'm constantly just gauging back and forth. Again, I'm not in the circle yet, so I'm going from rock to rock. I'm peeking to my left, peeking to my right, and then just so I can get in the circle, I moved up to this rock, and now I'm in. Okay, so now that I'm in, I'm just kind of peeking to my left and to my right. I just heard to my left, I just heard a gun battle go down over there, so I know that there are 2 people left. One, whoever won that gun battle to my left, and then to my right, that person that was on the outskirts over to the right. So at this point in time, I need to make a decision. I know where both people are, or at least the general vicinity. So I went ahead and I moved on this guy to the left. He was healing. I put down some good shots there with the ICR, and I was able to get that kill. And then just as I peeked to my right there, I see the guy moving from right to left. So I went ahead and I threw down some shots. Now, that probably wasn't the best idea because now he knows exactly where I'm at also. But if I look at the circle in the top left of my mini map, he's not in the next circle. So in 5 seconds, he's going to have to start running in. And that will go ahead and bring me to my last tip, which is to know your equipment and use them. I win this game because I used my equipment properly. If I slow this down for just a second, I catch the slightest glimpse of that guy trying to run in right there. So I go ahead and I cook my 9-bang, and I go ahead and I throw it, and then I attack and I go for the kill. So through my 9-bang, I get in position to shoot him. Then I went ahead and I threw my nade just because I figured I wouldn't have enough time to finish that kill. And now we're to the point where things are pretty hectic, right? I don't want to give this guy time to recover, so I go ahead, I go after him, and I just start laying down bullets. At this point in time, he wasn't going to be able to stand behind that sliver of cover forever, so I went ahead, I just didn't stop raining down bullets, and eventually I ended up getting the win. So again, guys and girls, as we get into the post-match lobby here, remember the 4 tips. Stay ahead of the circle. Don't be that person that's caught running in at the last second. Always gauge your moves in advance so you're ahead of the circle. Always know where your enemies are at. If you hear bullets, remember that there's somebody there. Make sure when you move into the next circle, you're always going from cover to cover. That way you're not stuck out in the open. And then finally, know what equipment you have. If you have stuns, 9-bangs, cluster grenades, use them. I end up winning that game simply because I used my equipment and my enemy didn't. So thank you guys for watching. If you're new around here, please like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll catch you in the next one.